Council President Andrew Friedson. I'm Jordan Lindsay. Reporters, if you still need permission to record or if you have any questions throughout this briefing, you can note that in the chat or raise your hand and I will call on you accordingly. Now I'll toss it to Council President Friedson for remarks and then we'll open it up for questions. Council President, to you.
Thank you, Jordan. Thanks everybody for joining us. Good morning. Before covering council activities, I did want to take a moment to send my deepest condolences to the family and friends of Charlotte Caulfield, a tremendous leader in our community who we recently lost. Ms. Caulfield's life was dedicated to civic and community activism and to uplifting everybody in our community. So many of us knew her as the matriarch of Littonsville because of her longstanding commitment to her community and to the historic preservation of that community and of Montgomery County. She was essential to the creation of the Littonsville Museum in the appropriately named Caulfield Community Center and received the Roscoe Nix Award in 2019 for her work as president of the Littonsville Community Civic Association and for all of her leadership over so many years on transportation and planning issues, among many other issues of significant importance to her community and to Montgomery County. She was also a committed advocate for racial equity and social justice and meeting the needs of the deaf community and building the type of inclusive, welcoming community that we pride ourselves in Montgomery County. In so many ways, Ms. Caulfield was at the forefront of so many of those issues and gave voice and gave agency to people in these communities before they were given formal seats at the table at the county, and really led the way to so much of the work that we have done in recent years. She lived her values every day. She lived them out loud, as we like to say in Montgomery County. Her grace, determination, and integrity will be truly missed by everyone who knew her and all of us in county government who stand on the shoulders of her civic engagement and her local activism. I also wanted to wish a swift recovery to Montgomery County Fire and Rescue Lieutenant Michael Doyle, who was hit by a drunk driver last week. Well, I understand, fortunately, that he is doing well and on the road to recovery. It's a stark reminder and a painful reminder of the dangers that our public safety professionals face each and every day as they protect our community and the sacrifice that their families are making by entrusting us with their lives and themselves on a daily basis. We thank Lieutenant Doyle and all of our first responders for their dedicated service to Montgomery County. We keep him in our prayers and we keep all of our first responders in our prayers and wish him and them well. Switching gears, just wanted to note I had a busy weekend this weekend out and about in the community. Among several stops that I made this weekend, I just wanted to highlight a few, including the premiere of a new documentary highlighting the history of segregation when Glen Echo Amusement Park was privately owned, and the fateful summer of 1960 and the protests that brought together Howard University students, the local community of Bannockburn, and county activists to demand the integration of that park. It is one of the lesser told stories of significant moments in the civil rights movement in the region, in the county, and across the country. And it is a remarkable documentary. I want to appreciate the work of Alana Trackman, who, along with local residents who helped to fund the effort, really put together what is a remarkable documentary telling a critical story, not only for us here in Montgomery County, but for everybody in the country. And also for Glen Echo Park, for the Park Service, for really leaning into these issues and reconciling with that aspect of their past and using it as a useful tool for education to teach about our present and our future, which is so important from my perspective. And also the work of the Remembrance and Reconciliation Committee and Commission, among others who helped to put this on, Office of Human Rights, et cetera. It was done at AFI Silver in Silver Spring, and really was just an amazing opportunity. We also had the Friendship Picnic at Wheaton Regional Park. There were thousands of people who came out on a perfect day to celebrate the strength of our community. And just want to thank the Committee Against Hate Violence and the Office of Human Rights for putting that on once again, for bringing our community together, and for celebrating the strength of the diverse communities and cultures that we have in Montgomery County at a time when hate is on the rise. Moments like that friendship picnic are more important than ever as a light amid darkness. And so I just really appreciate the work, and was pleased to be there with so many colleagues and so many community organizations and local residents to celebrate. Also joined the Ethio-American Chamber of Commerce for a great event in downtown Silver Spring to celebrate the strength of that community on the eve now of our celebration at the Council of African Heritage Month, and really celebrating the strength and the benefits that our immigrant communities, and particularly our Ethiopian community, has brought to Montgomery County. I've said before, you'd have to go to another continent to find a stronger Ethiopian community, the one that you can find here in Silver Spring. And that is a source of pride for all of us, and something that we should lean into and do. Speaking of Heritage Months, I was really pleased to participate and join in for the Colores exhibition at Black Rock Center for the Arts to kick off Hispanic Heritage Month, and to be there for the kickoff and start to their season, an important arts institution, but also a true cultural center for Germantown and for the Up County. And it was just a great display of local Latino artists in Black Rock, and a great Cuban dance demonstration, among others. There's lots of activities that are happening for Hispanic Heritage Month. We look forward to being part of it here at the Council and beyond. With that, let me just highlight a few items on the Council agenda, and then we can open it up to questions. Attainable housing, as we've talked about before, we had the beginning of our listening sessions beginning last week, which were very successful. This was an initiative, as you know, that was brought forth by the Planning Department with recommendations. We took up those recommendations for 3 briefings at the Planning, Housing, and Parks Committee, and handled that over the summer. And the intention was to go out into the community and hear from the community on these Planning Department recommendations. This fall, we've begun that process, which aims to diversify the housing options in Montgomery County so that we can make room for more residents and continue to ensure that Montgomery County is a welcoming and inclusive place, and a vibrant place that attracts new residents. As chair of the Planning, Housing, and Parks Committee, just want to reiterate that the Council has done a lot in housing, that this is just one tool in the toolkit as recommended by the Planning Department to address what's often referred to as missing middle housing, where homeownership is out of reach for too many people, and where there are opportunities to have more options for more families. Before we take any formal council action, or there is any legislation that's before us, there's no legislation currently before us. We want to hear from residents about their concerns. We want to have questions raised that we have an opportunity to answer. And so we began in Silver Spring last Wednesday. We then continued on Thursday in Wheaton, where I was joined by Planning Director Jason Sartori and Planning Board Chair Artie Harris. We heard a wide variety of viewpoints for, against, and just some broader questions and concerns without specific positions for or against, which is the whole purpose of why we're doing these meetings. I was pleased to see a number of residents from different communities join us. We heard from renters, we heard from homeowners, we heard from new residents, we heard from longtime residents. It really was a diverse group of viewpoints, which was really great to see. Some key issues expressed by residents included the need for more housing for younger and older residents at the younger end and the older end of the spectrum, in particular, concerns about parking and traffic congestion, as well as stormwater, and concerns about potential impacts on existing property tax values. This week, we'll be hosting one listening session, which will be tomorrow at the White Oak Community Rec Center in Silver Spring. And then we will have sessions in Germantown and Bethesda the following week, and a virtual session on October 2nd. I'll note that the Bethesda session planned for the following week was oversubscribed in the Regional Service Center, and so we are moving that location to Whitman High School to the all-purpose room at the same time on the same date so that we can accommodate more people. So stay tuned for a formal announcement for that, where we'll be able to open it up to more registrants. Excuse me, I said Whitman High School and I meant BCC High School and was just corrected. So we are expanding the opportunity in Bethesda because it's been oversubscribed from the BCC Regional Service Center, which is why I misspoke, to the BCC High School all-purpose room. So that will be same date, same time, BCC High School all-purpose room. And so we hope that those who have signed up will get a communication from us to let them know about the location change, and we'll be sending out an advisory to make sure that residents are aware that we've opened up additional opportunities, and so that the prior issue of the BCC Regional Service Center being at capacity will no longer be an issue. We also tomorrow will be holding a public hearing on Bill 1424. This is a proposed bill to address noise related to vehicles and is based on the state authorization of utilizing technology by deploying noise cameras around different parts of the county to do enforcement related to noise from vehicles. This is a bill that was sponsored by Council Vice President Stewart and Councilmember Fani-González. Many colleagues and I are co-sponsors of the legislation, and State Delegate Julie Polakovich-Carr, who chairs the county delegation in the House, played a key role in enabling the county to pursue this pilot program by sponsoring enabling state legislation. The program is designed to enforce existing state laws regarding vehicle exhaust noise. This is really an enforcement deployment of existing state law, not a change in what the law at the state or the county level would do. These systems will capture audio and video evidence of vehicles exceeding the sound limit of 80 decibels with a threshold set at 85 decibels for enforcement. So the threshold will set higher than the legal standard. There will be cameras that can be utilized. It's technology that has been deployed elsewhere and can be deployed now here based on this state enabling legislation. This has been a quality of life issue and a nuisance that has really exploded in recent years. We've particularly heard it in areas of Wheaton, Forest Glen, Glenmont, Aspen Hill, and Rockville, as well as Silver Spring, North Bethesda, and Kensington. By implementing noise cameras, the program aims to address the problem of modified or defective mufflers and exhaust systems that contribute to noise pollution. Essentially, people are adding on devices onto their exhaust that is creating huge amounts of noise and creating many issues for our residents. The Montgomery County Police Department will publish the locations of the monitoring systems on the county website, install signage near the systems, and provide a 15-day notice period before issuing citations. The goal of the legislation is to improve public safety by managing reckless driving behavior and addressing noise-related disturbances. Police indicate that the noise additions on vehicles are often associated with drag racing, with other types of reckless driving. And so this is seen in many ways as a tool to address broader public safety concerns and issues as well. If enacted, the pilot program will run until June 30th, 2026, as proposed in the legislation, and the determination of the effectiveness of the noise cameras and the overall impact on noise levels will be evaluated at that time. We look forward to hearing from residents on their perspectives on this bill during the public hearing tomorrow, and there is a joint Transportation and Environment and Public Safety Committee meeting on October the 7th. Note that the noise ordinance is actually handled through the Department of Environmental Protection. And so that's why T&E, Transportation and Environment, is involved, as well as public safety, because it is a public safety enforcement issue. Also tomorrow, the council is scheduled to conduct interviews for the county executive's nominee for two important positions in county government. First, we'll be interviewing Darcell Graham for the position of Director of the Department of Public Libraries. Ms. Graham comes to us from Baltimore's Enoch Pratt Free Library, where she is currently the interim president and CEO. She joined the Pratt Library in 1998 and has served in a variety of leadership roles within that library system. Immediately following the interview, we will be interviewing Captain David McBain for appointment as Assistant Chief of Police in the Department of Police. Captain McBain currently serves as the Acting Assistant Chief of the Field Services Bureau in MCPD, where he oversees special operations, traffic operations, community engagement, and the security services divisions. Previously, he served and became well-known in the community as commander of the 3rd District. He has 31 years of service in the police department and has actively collaborated and led important projects countywide, like the Adopt a Neighborhood database that is currently being implemented in all police districts, as well as the youth basketball and soccer tournaments in White Oak, Briggs Cheney, and Long Branch, focused on youth police relationships, which were hosted in partnership with the Department of Parks and Recreation. Has been a very successful program. Looking forward to both of those interviews tomorrow and to getting those positions officially filled. And then tomorrow we will also be hosting the council's annual commemoration for African Heritage Month. This is the 4th year that we're celebrating this important month. And this year's theme is Champions of Tomorrow, Shaping Montgomery County's Future Through Service, Entrepreneurship, and Education. Recent data from George Mason University noted that more than 54,000 African immigrants live in Montgomery County, making up about 16% of the county's immigrant populations. It is a fast-growing and thriving community that we are fortunate to have in Montgomery County and happy to be celebrating tomorrow. During the commemoration, we'll present a proclamation with community members from the African diaspora in Montgomery County, and we will showcase a video created by our award-winning video communications team. And so special kudos to them for all of that hard work. I'll just close, speaking of Heritage Months, with an acknowledgement that today is Mexican Independence Day. So happy Independence Day to all of those in our Mexican-American community and all of those who hail from Mexico, and wish everyone a happy Hispanic Heritage Month. Our Latino and Hispanic residents have made an incredible impact on the cultural, economic, and social fabric of our community and on the United States at large. The council will be commemorating Hispanic Heritage Month at the council on October 1st. And the theme of this year's commemoration is Pioneers of Change, Shaping the Future Together. I want to encourage everyone to join us or to tune in. I was also proud to be at the Kennedy Center with Montgomery County's own Antonio Tijerino for the Hispanic Heritage Awards. And we're proud to have him as the executive director and CEO of the foundation and one of the leading members of the Latino community nationwide. It was great to be able to join him and many other Montgomery County residents as we went to the Kennedy Center to celebrate that, a celebration that will be featured on PBS as well. So with that, let me turn it back to you, Jordan, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Council President Friedson. Reporters, again, if you have any questions, you can note that in the chat, or you can raise your hand and I will call on you accordingly. Any questions I don't see in the chat, I'll give you a few moments. Reporters, if you have any questions, you can note that in the chat. Okay, going once, going twice, 3 times. Okay, back to you, Council President.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Thanks for covering local government. We need you now more than ever. Talk to you soon.